Hey, Stephanie here with Tuesday Tips. Do you know your social media metrics? What's that? Social media metrics are just a way of you to track what you're doing on social media. So if you're unfamiliar with your metrics, stick with me for the next few minutes and I'm going to go through all the different metrics with you, what you should be looking at and why they're important. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is a social media series. And if you didn't see last week's episode of goals, I definitely recommend you go back and look at that or watch that video. So with social media, if you're in business, you should be doing everything with intent. Don't just post for the sake of posting. You should have a specific goal. And I recommend that you do specific goals for short periods of time, like 3 months. And then after a few weeks, you should not be doing this daily. You might want to check weekly. You want to look at your metrics. Now, it doesn't matter which platform you use. They're all going to give you metrics. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. You should be able to access your metrics. You should be able to access these certain data points. So with that, let's go through all the different types of metrics that you should be paying attention to. The first metric, which is probably the easiest, which anytime you pull up your page, you're going to see, and that's your fan count or your audience base. And that might be something, look, you should be paying attention to all of these numbers. However, depending on your goal, you're going to be paying special attention to different ones. So if you are a brand new business or your goal for the next 3 months is to really grow your audience, that is the metric that you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to that number and then come up with a realistic goal of increasing it. So maybe you want to increase it by 10%. Maybe you want to increase it by 20%. Don't go crazy. Don't say you want to, well, unless you've got like 10 followers and you want to double it, right? But be realistic that you want to gain, X amount of followers in the next 3 months. Okay? So that's the first metric we should be looking at. And depending on your goal, you're going to put more importance on that number. Now, the next one is a little tricky. And it's the number of impressions. People get really tripped up with this. Impressions are the number of eyeballs that's seen it. The number of eyeballs that got pushed out to. Does not mean they stopped. It does not mean they consumed your content. Okay? It means it got pushed out to X amount of people. And it showed up in their news feed or it showed up however it's going to show up for them. Now, different platforms use the term impressions differently. So you have to be careful. Each one is going to have a different definition. Okay, but industry-wide, impressions are the number of eyeballs that saw it. The next is reach. And reach is when someone has interacted with your content. They've liked it, they've shared it, they've commented on it. Now, somebody may have done all 3. That counts as 3 reaches. Okay? This is where reach can be very, very tricky. So now, amazing if somebody liked, commented, and shared your content, right? This is awesome. Because then that means you're going to have more impressions and more people are apt to like it or maybe start following you. So be careful with your reach. Now, there are certain platforms that also can put that reach number in your impressions number. I think Twitter right now is one of them that don't separate the difference between impressions and reach. So not only does it show up in somebody's news feed, but they've interacted with it. They liked it, they shared it, and they've commented on it, right? So if you have somebody who did all 4 of those things, then that would equal 4 impressions. So make sure that you understand whatever platforms you are using, understand how they are giving you the metrics, okay? But so impressions, like if you're trying to build brand awareness, impressions is something that you really want to focus on, okay? If your goal is to create community, then you're really going to want to focus on the reach. Okay? How many people are engaging with the post? And then finally, link clicks. This is usually done as a separate metric. And this will tell you how many people clicked on the link. So if you are posting a blog post, for instance, and you want people to go check out my blog, check out this week's blog on blah, 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 right? Or for me, check out this week's newsletter about social media metrics. I might have a link there. Now, you have to be careful with links because certain platforms don't like links. But if you are posting an external, if you're posting an event, if whatever you're posting that has a link attached to it, it could be an event, it could be a blog post or a newsletter or an article or a video. It could be, maybe you want to drive someone to your sales page. So if you're trying to increase traffic and do sales and lead generation, and that's your focus. If either of those are your focus, then you're probably going to want to pay attention to the click links or the link clicks. Are they all important? Absolutely. Now, I am going to caution you. Do not look at these daily. I recommend once a week, set aside a little bit of time and go through your posts. It depends how often you're posting as well. Are you posting daily? Are you posting several times a day? There's also other things that you should be looking at too. And if you're trying to get more engagement, if you are trying to increase your brand awareness, if you are trying to grow your audience, there are some other things that I think are important as well. And that should be tracked. First is the type of post you're making. Is the post just text? Is the post a picture with text? Is it a video or is it a live stream, right? Because those are the 4 types of things you can post. You can post video, live, text, and photos, right? We can text those 4 things. We can post those 4 things. So I like to track each one of those. Was this a video? Was it live? A video meaning something that was pre-recorded. If it's a live stream, that's different. Okay? because platforms like Facebook and Instagram prioritize your live in the stories, right? Or they send notifications to people who follow you. So live is important. Was it live? And those videos get priority, at least right now they do, and have for a little while. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So lives get prioritized. The other thing you should track is, why were you doing this post? Were you doing it for education purposes? Were you doing it for entertainment? Did you do it because you wanted to provide value to your audience? Did you do it because you were promoting something, whether it was your product or service or someone else's? Or was it for engagement? Was it there to drive engagement? So, and there are lots of ways you can do that. You know, you can post a video about and have send people to a survey or a poll. You can post a poll. That's text, right? In Facebook. You could do that in Instagram. I'm using those because those are the primary ones that I utilize, but I know you can do that on other social media as well. So polls are engaging, right? Were you asking an engaging question of your audience? Were you doing it for entertainment? Were you just out there just talking about the weather or talking about the crazy thing that your sister did at Thanksgiving dinner this year? Because we all have that crazy family member, right? And that was just about connection. So these are the things that I think are important to track. It's not just about the numbers, but tracking those things and then tracking the metrics based on those things, on the type of media that you're using and the type of content that you're delivering are really important. It's going to tell you a lot about your audience. It's going to tell you what, you can even post when, if you want to track, like, if you're posting on Saturday afternoons versus posting on Monday mornings. Like, if that's important to you, and if you are interested in engagement, something like that might be important. So having that goal is really necessary so that you are tracking the right things and seeing where you're getting the best traction. And then after a few weeks, after a week, after a couple of weeks, go back, look at the numbers, because people don't always see things. And the algorithm doesn't always push things out immediately. I have missed friends' things because I didn't get notified or I missed the notification, right? So that kind of thing definitely, that's something really important to understand, is that a lot of people are going to see replays. A lot of people are going to watch the video later. So you want to give it at least a 24-hour time period. And I would even recommend doing it for the week. And then doing your metrics at that time. So, and you may even want to start tracking on a weekly basis, like the week of, I did these 3 posts or 5 posts. I went live once, I posted a video once, I did this, I did that. I did it at the same time each and every day. They were all entertainment posts or they were whatever it was. And where did I get the most engagement? So depending on what your goal is going to depend on the metrics that you want to pay attention to. I hope this video was helpful. And if you are having problems with this or having any other challenge in your business, please take me up on a free business breakthrough session. These are free 30-minute sessions where you and I get to sit down one-on-one, talk about what it is you want, what's in the way of that, and I give you my best tip or strategy to help get you past it or moving forward again. The business breakthrough sessions are free, so they do fill up quickly. I only gift a couple of them a week right now. So if you do want that, make sure to click the link in in the comments or in the newsletter and schedule your breakthrough session now. And I look forward to sitting down and getting you more support on your journey of success. Bye.